How to fix games freezing at launch on Ryzen 7 7800X3D RX 7900 XT systems. Welcome to Teknobalta, your direct source for PC troubleshooting expertise. Today, we tackle a critical issue affecting many new high-performance gaming systems. This problem manifests as games freezing or stuttering indefinitely at the initial launch or loading screens. Such interruptions can severely impact your gaming experience, especially with a powerful new hardware setup. Our case study involves a formidable system featuring the Ryzen 7 7800X3D processor and an AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT graphics card. Despite this high-end configuration, the user reported significant game launch failures. Games like Battlefield 1, Counter-Strike, Cyberpunk 2077, and Valorant exhibited immediate freezing upon startup. Interestingly, once these games managed to load, or for titles like The Last of Us Part 1, in-game performance was excellent. The system delivered expected frame rates and smooth gameplay, indicating the issue was specific to the launch phase. The user had meticulously updated drivers and verified game files, yet the core problem persisted. They suspected issues stemming from previous 1080p settings or potential BIOS configurations. Before diving into the ultimate solution, let's address some preliminary troubleshooting steps that are often relevant. One common culprit for erratic game behavior is a corrupted or outdated shader cache. Shaders are small programs used by the GPU to render graphics, and their cached versions help improve loading times. However, a corrupt cache can lead to visual glitches, performance drops, or even application crashes. To reset this, open the AMD Adrenalin software. Navigate to the Gaming section, then select Graphics and proceed to Advanced Settings. Within this menu, locate and execute the Reset Shader Cache option. This action will clear all stored shader files, forcing the system to recompile them fresh during subsequent game launches. This clean slate can often resolve issues tied to graphical pipeline corruption. Ensure you restart your system after performing this reset to apply the changes effectively. Another frequent cause of launch issues, especially on new systems, involves cloud-synced configuration files from older setups. Steam and other platforms often back up game settings to the cloud. When migrating to new hardware, these older settings, particularly resolution-dependent ones like 1080p, can conflict with your new monitor or GPU capabilities. For instance, a game attempting to launch at a resolution or refresh rate unsupported by your current display might immediately crash or freeze. This was evident with Battlefield 1, which ran flawlessly when installed via EA Play, indicating a clean configuration. To address this, first, disable cloud synchronization for the problematic game within your game client settings. Then, manually locate the game's configuration files, typically found in your user profiles, documents, or app data folders. Delete these files to force the game to generate new ones upon next launch. Remember to back up any critical save files before deleting configuration data to avoid unintended data loss. This process ensures that the game starts with a fresh set of parameters, optimized for your current system's hardware and display. It effectively circumvents conflicts arising from outdated or incompatible graphic presets. Next, consider disabling full-screen optimizations for problematic game executables. Full-screen optimizations were introduced to improve compatibility and performance of games running in full-screen mode. However, in some configurations, they can interfere with proper game launching. To apply this fix, Navigate to the game's installation directory and locate its main executable file, usually ending in .exe. Right-click on this executable and select Properties from the context menu. In the Properties window, switch to the Compatibility tab. Here, you will find the option labeled Disable Fullscreen Optimizations. Check this box to enable the disabling of these optimizations. Click Apply and then OK to save your changes. This adjustment might resolve conflicts related to how the operating system manages game rendering in exclusive full-screen mode. Some games prefer direct control over the display output, which disabling this setting can facilitate. While not a universal fix, it has proven effective for specific game titles. Despite these common troubleshooting steps, the user continued to face persistent freezing issues at game launch. This indicated a deeper underlying hardware configuration problem that required further investigation. The user meticulously monitored system resource usage during game startup. During this process, a critical observation was made. Games were inexplicably attempting to utilize the integrated GPU, iGPU, embedded within the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D processor. This occurred even when Windows display settings were explicitly configured to use the powerful dedicated RX 7900 XT. This misdirection of graphical processing power to the integrated unit was the root cause of the freezing. The integrated GPU is designed for basic display output and light tasks, not high-fidelity gaming. When a demanding game attempts to initialize on the iGPU, it quickly encounters resource limitations, leading to an immediate hang or crash. The system was failing to correctly assign the dedicated graphics card as the primary rendering device for game applications. This phenomenon can be particularly perplexing as performance within games that eventually loaded was excellent, suggesting a post-launch GPU switching or recovery mechanism. However, the initial launch sequence remained dependent on the incorrect GPU. This issue highlights a common pitfall in modern systems equipped with both integrated and dedicated graphics solutions. The operating system or specific applications may prioritize the iGPU by default. Resolving this requires direct intervention at a fundamental hardware level to enforce dedicated GPU usage. The most reliable method to prevent the system from defaulting to the integrated GPU involves disabling it directly within the system's BIOS/UEFI settings. This ensures the dedicated graphics card is the sole active display adapter. By taking this decisive step, we remove any ambiguity or potential conflict in GPU selection at system boot and application launch. This ensures that all graphics-intensive tasks are exclusively routed to the high-performance RX 7900 XT. Accessing your system's BIOS/UEFI is the first crucial step. Power on or restart your PC, repeatedly pressing the designated BIOS key. Common keys include DL, F2, F10, or F12. The exact key varies by motherboard manufacturer. Consult your motherboard manual if unsure about the specific key. Once inside the BIOS interface, navigate using your keyboard. The interface might differ, but core settings are usually consistent. Look for sections like Advanced, Integrated Peripherals, Chipset, or North Bridge Configuration. These areas often house graphics-related settings. Our objective is to locate the integrated graphics settings. Terms such as integrated graphics, iGPU, primary graphics adapter, or UEFI frame buffer are common identifiers. For AMD systems, sometimes graphics configuration or AMD PSP-related settings can be relevant. You are searching for an option that controls the integrated GPU's operational status. Once you find the relevant setting, change its value. Typically, you will find options like Auto, Enabled, or Disabled. Select Disabled to prevent the integrated graphics from initializing. Some BIOS versions might offer Primary Graphics Adapter or Initial Display Output options. In such cases, set this option to PEG PCI Express Graphics or PCIe Slot 1. This explicitly prioritizes the dedicated graphics card installed in the primary PCIe slot. Confirm your selection carefully before proceeding. Incorrect BIOS settings can affect system stability. After making this change, navigate to the Exit menu within the BIOS. Select Save Changes and Exit or a similar option. Your system will then restart with the new BIOS configuration applied. This forces the system to recognize and utilize only the dedicated RX 7900 XT for all display outputs. Upon reboot, access your operating system as usual. Windows should now exclusively detect and initialize your dedicated graphics card. Open Device Manager to confirm the change. Under Display Adapters, only your RX 7900 XT should be listed and active. The integrated Radeon graphics for the 7800 X3D should no longer appear or should be marked as disabled. This confirms the BIOS modification was successful. With the iGPU disabled, test your previously problematic games. They should now launch without freezing or stuttering at initial loading screens. The system will now correctly route all graphics workloads to the powerful discrete GPU. This ensures optimal performance from game startup through extended play sessions. This fundamental BIOS adjustment overrides any software-level conflicts or misconfigurations. It provides a definitive solution for systems incorrectly prioritizing integrated graphics. Always exercise caution when making BIOS changes. Refer to your motherboard's manual for specific instructions if needed. Improper BIOS configuration can lead to boot issues. If you encounter problems, revert to default BIOS settings and proceed carefully. The integrated GPU's purpose is typically for basic display output or troubleshooting without a dedicated card. For gaming, disabling it ensures peak performance. This method is applicable not only to the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D, but also to other CPUs with integrated graphics. Ensure your dedicated card is always the primary output. Disabling the iGPU also frees up system resources. This includes a small amount of system RAM that might be reserved as you may frame buffer. This ensures all available system memory is allocated to your operating system and applications. It potentially offers a minor performance uplift. Always keep your AMD Adrenalin drivers updated to the latest stable version. New drivers often include performance enhancements and bug fixes. Regular driver updates ensure compatibility with the newest game titles. They also optimize the interaction between your GPU and system software. Revisit your in-game settings after implementing this fix. Some games might have defaulted to lower settings due to the iGPU detection. Adjust your resolution, graphics quality, and other visual options to match your RX 7900 XT's capabilities. Maximize your gaming experience. Monitor your GPU temperatures and clock speeds during gameplay. Ensure everything is operating within expected parameters. Overheating or unusual clock behavior could indicate other underlying issues. Utilize monitoring software for comprehensive system insights. This resolution strategy directly tackles the root cause of the initial launch freezes. It ensures your high-end gaming hardware performs as intended. By systematically addressing the GPU prioritization, we unlock the full potential of your gaming rig. Enjoy seamless and immersive gameplay from now on. Remember, a robust troubleshooting approach involves eliminating variables one by one. The iGPU conflict was a significant hidden variable. This deep dive into BIOS settings empowers you to fine-tune your system. Take full control over your hardware's behavior. We hope this detailed guide helps you overcome game launch issues. Your gaming experience should now be flawlessly smooth. This concludes our deep dive into resolving game freezing issues on high-performance systems. Correctly configuring your GPU is paramount for optimal gaming. If this solution worked for you, please share your experience in the comments below. Your feedback helps the entire Teknobalta community. For more in-depth PC troubleshooting and technical insights, subscribe to Teknobalta. We are dedicated to delivering direct, actionable solutions. Thank you for watching, and may your frames be high and your temperatures low. Teknobalta out.